believe that'll do it for tonight.
$500.
I'm sorry?
$500 per park.
Yeah, I'm sorry, $499, $500, yeah.
So it's just gonna help, make each one of the department heads a little better, and, practice management, and, I guess, department, and, being able to, help the city to, have good management material. So that'll be a good plan.
Just like we talked about, you've worked your way up, and what have you been trained for? I mean, it's just very difficult to be in your situation, and I don't know how we can hold everybody accountable when they've not been trained to be at their best to do it. So that's what we're gonna try to do. That's it.
All right. You may.
Our end of the month report is our intake for last month, for the month of May, was 78 dogs. We returned 14 to the owners, adopted out 2 dogs, and we transferred 62 to rescue. As of today, we still have 30 dogs on intake. Some of them have been tagged to leave our next transport. Our fundraiser that we had at Burke's Outlet in the plaza was a big success. We got lots of items that was donated there, which was purchased there, so that helped bring business to. We also passed our Department of Ag inspection with 100% again.
Good.
So that worked out well. And we have several fundraisers that we're working on. Any questions?
Thank you. All right, police.
Mayor, council, I want to start off the meeting talking about our golf carts and side-by-sides that are being used in the city. With students being out now, kids not having a lot to do, we're seeing an increase in underage drivers getting out of the golf carts and side-by-sides and driving on back streets. I want the parents to understand that if we catch your child driving and they're not licensed, they're not insured, the parents are going to start getting tickets. We've had 2 major accidents where people were hurt very badly from a golf cart and one from side to side. People need to understand you can get some very serious injuries from these accidents. Both of them were just one vehicle accidents. They didn't run into another car. They were just driving way too fast for their condition and lost control and flipped them. So 2 people ended up in the hospital very unnecessarily. They just take the time and drive them safely. So our officers are going to start paying more attention and start making more stops, start issuing more tickets in the area.
So they're required to have their permit to drive those on the streets, correct?
Yes, they have to have a valid driver's license and insurance both.
Okay, and then they present those when they go to get their permit, correct?
Go see Ms. Brenda.
They do.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that.
How old do they have to be before they can drive?
16. You have to have a driver's license. At last check, last week we looked into this. The first year we did this, there was nearly 200 stickers. Last year was just under 140, and right now we're already into June, and we're at 73. So less and less people are buying them. So yeah, it's whenever you come up here, you get a sheet that says, it has to be insurance and not just your homeowners, because once you take it off of your property, your homeowners no longer covers it. You have to be a licensed driver. So if you've lost your license or you're not 16, then you can't drive it on the city streets. So then you have to have some safety equipment on there. So it's all spilled out. I know the newspapers talked about it, the radio's talked about it. So we're having children hurt for no unnecessarily, no good reason. So so please, step up. It's hard to say no at times, but this is one of the areas where so far there's been no deaths, but it could be an easy.
It could be easy. The last one we had, the little girl could easily be crippled for life if it had been any different. She had that serious injuries. So she can be fine. And thankfully she will be, but I can see just from going and responding to the scene, how much worse she could have been hurt. installed because they're just going way too fast. They're not, at that age, they're not, their judgment just isn't there. They're not having any kind of driver education, not any kind of training or anything. So it's nothing, we can just stop one child from getting hurt, it'll be worth the effort, unfortunately.
Chief Wilson, I have a question about the golf cart stop and stuff.
Yes,
Is there a certain hour of the night that they cannot be on the street?
as long as they're equipped with lights. they
Because I
can be on
know
the street.
a few months ago, I got called out to leave to go out of town toward the west end of town there. About ran over a man that had no lights at all on one of the golf carts.
It's supposed to be well lit, especially at night, so it can be visible. Just for safety, that's just a safety thing. But right now, we don't have a time restriction on the ordinance about when they can operate, when they don't. That might be something to look into in the future, I don't know. There was one vehicle accident happened really late at night, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so they're out at night too, late night. So, might be something to look at later, I don't know.
So if a minor's caught with it and the parents are fine?
Depending on the age of the driver, 15 and up, they can get a traffic ticket, the driver can. 14 and under, we have to go and stop the parent and get them in court.
How much is the fine?
It's up to the courts, I have no idea.
Could that, a ticket to a minor, could that decrease their ability to get their driver's license at 16 if they got a ticket at 14?
Probably not. All depends on what the juvenile court wants to do. You know, if it's a problem child, they might be able to put some restrictions on that. But again, all that goes back to the judge and what they want to do with the child.
But the ticket would be operating a motor vehicle without a license.
Any more questions on
And for a lot, Bill, you deal with this within your private practice, that, you know, I'll get patients, we'll do some x-rays on them, and I'll show them how, you know, your neck is supposed to curve in. All right, so it's called a lordotic curve. So it's supposed to curve in. That in a 5 mile an hour bumper crash, okay, whether you backed into something or anything else, that's all the amount of, you know, from a motor vehicle, 5 miles an hour, to bounce the head forward, make it go back, to reduce that normal curve. And so you end up with, in little cases, of whiplash. Right, so losing that curvature at an early age, you know, then you end up with, you know, all kinds of different problems, from headaches, numbness and tingling hands, arms, fingers, a lot of things, from a simple 5 mile an hour crash. It's well documented, you can see the research, it's all out there. 5 miles an hour, bounces the head forward and back. So, you know, a golf cart goes way more than 5 miles an hour. And so even something simple is, you know, it's not simple.
Any more questions on that? Okay. We did meet at the police committee last week. One of the things we discussed upcoming is purchase of police cars. They're going to change the way we purchase cars now. The dealership is no longer going to have like a surplus on the lot anymore. Right now, he does not have any on the lot. I think the order bank for Explorers opens up August the 11th. There's no pricing available yet, but we have to decide ahead of time how many we want to buy for that year. And then they will need a letter of intent from the city about how many we're going to buy. And there's no guarantee how fast we'll get them. It could be 6 months, it could be a year. Talked to another department that ordered 9 last year, still don't have them. So, and from what I'm understanding from the dealership, this is not going to get any better. Police package vehicle is not one of their money makers, so they're going to turn more toward retail cars. Spend more time building those. So we got to figure out how we want to do it, other than how we've been doing it in the past. It's something maybe the police committee would meet, try to figure out something, bring it back to the finance committee, and come up with a different game plan how we're going to do this. Back last week, Memorial Day weekend, the officers worked 3 shootings last week. We did clear all 3 of them. One suspect still at large. We did have warrants for him. We're looking for him pretty hard, but haven't found him yet. But very busy weekend for Memorial Day, unfortunately. The shootings kind of took up a lot of time for us. Other than that, that's all I have.
Chief, on that, can you generally, what's the age of the retrievers?
The two of them are juveniles, and one adult dog. And suspect was. Thank you.
Thank you.
Street.
Mayor, council members. We don't have a whole lot. Robertson Asphalt is in town. They started doing our overlays. With the weather, they kind of jumped around a little bit the last couple of days as to where they could work, but hopefully it'll, supposed to rain tomorrow, so I don't know what they'll end up doing there. Knuckles Construction has been in town. They've completed 3 of our intersections so far. Do want to point out that the 3 intersections that they have completed are on the north side of town. And while they were doing the work, they had damage done to their equipment. Estimated total of that is between $3,500 and $4,000. They had 2 winches broke out of the excavator. They broke into their skid steer and tore up the key switch trying to get it started to do whatever with it. And they beat the connections, the hydraulic connections off of the skid steer while they were working up there. Fortunately, they got all that done up there now, and they're headed south. Hopefully they won't have any more problems. I think in one case, they might have had a witness